So for Holy Communion now, before the service, I will have set up the wafers into a ciborium. I'll be wearing gloves and my mask, and then they're covered, ready for the service. And the same, the gluten-free wafers are in their own little picks as well. And the wine will be in the chalice and with a glass cover on it. And then the wafer that I will use as president will be here on a plate uncovered. So throughout the whole of the service, as I preside and lead the service, those elements will all be covered. When we get to the Eucharistic prayer, obviously I won't be, when we get to the Eucharistic prayer and I'm leading, I won't be wearing the mask, I won't be wearing gloves. So the only bit that I will be breathing over is the wafer that I will eat. At the end of the Eucharistic prayer, I will leave my wafer here, and I will then put mask on again and sanitize my hands, and then carry this tray down to the chancel step. There'll be sanitizer left in. And all the elements remain covered for this. So then I'd probably say at this point I will uncover the elements. But they will remain here, set back from where we'll be leading communion. So then we'll invite people to come forward, and a steward will come forward with a hand sanitizer. I will remain masked, and the people receiving communion will remain masked. Yeah. And the steward will come, the first person to come up to communion. They'll need to sanitize their hands. While the person is coming up for communion, I will take a wafer and I will just very lightly intinct it in the wine. So just a tiny bit of wine. This is wine that no one's drunk. I will remain masked for this bit. And then by the time the person sanitized and come forward, they wear their mask, I wear mine. And I give them the bread, but they need to try really hard not to eat it at this point, to turn around and return to their pew with their mask still on and sit down and then consume the bread. And then the next person will come forward. And while they've been sanitizing coming forward, I will have intincted their bread and give them the bread again. And then they have to resist the urge to eat and return to their seats with mask on, and then consume the bread. And I will then intinct the next wafer while the steward arranges for the next person to come forward. So it will feel a little bit different, but it's a way that we can bring Holy Communion back in the building, and people, I think, are missing being able to receive communion in the church within that space in the service. So we're going to trial this from 8 o'clock service next week and see what happens. Thank you for sharing with us and working with us as we try and work with the guidance and work out how it works here in St. Mark's.